Welcome to the Leadership Exposé podcast. This podcast is for purpose-driven leaders at diverse levels and organizations around the world who are seeking to scale and transform their leadership, to level up their business, and to create an impact on the lives of people all around them. Business and boardroom topics, trends, innovation, transformation, and the intersection with leadership is the focus. We enable success. I'm your host, Stephen Paul. In this episode today, we have a renowned leader and chartered accountant by profession with a long career at high growth and established firms such as Hindustan Zinc and Ernst & Young. He has subsequently worked closely with many small, medium enterprises where he offers his specialism on turnarounds by providing ground-level solutions. He's the author of a bestseller called Business Succession Planning. We'll definitely hear about that. We welcome Ravi Mamodiya, Managing Partner of Mamodiya Co, chartered accountants firm. He's founder of business consulting firm called Master Insiders LLP. We'll learn about his unique ways of business growth and advisory, the process, the designing and finance structuring, and his book on business succession planning. Welcome, Ravi. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Paul, for such a wonderful introduction of mine. And I'm really doing great and happy to come where we can talk about this topic, where we can talk that how this can help and a complete ecosystem of the business. And I'm really grateful to you that the way you are communicating with your audience, the way you're putting up the things, the relevant things for the success of any business is really meant a lot to any segment of the world. Thank you so much for putting up your all energy and things around it. And thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ravi, and welcome to the ecosystem, to my ecosystem, and broadly as well. But we just before we started the podcast, Ravi, we were mentioning about where we're based. Well, you, as you know, and the audience, you know that I'm based here in London, United Kingdom. What about you, Ravi? Just for the purposes of getting our audience curious as to where you're located, tell us where you're located.
Yeah, Paul. So I am located out of Jaipur, Rajasthan, and it is in India. So Rajasthan is typically a place where a tradition of Rajasthan, a tradition of India, where comes in where a Rajput, freedom fighters who have been fought for the freedom of India and for all of these has been coming from here. So traditionally, I am from Rajasthan, belongs to a typical Marwadi family. Marwadi means a typical Baniya who knows and understands the finances and numbers in a better way. And obviously, Chartered Accountancy course has put a cherry on the cake by giving and doing so. So I belong to Jaipur, Rajasthan, India.
So there's a lot of historical resonance here, but also there is, as you mentioned, the numbers and the financial aspects that can be weaved in. India's got lots of festivals, and I remember there is festivals every week. So can you tell us just very briefly, is there anything that's going on in the month of September that's of interest?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that India is full of these kind of festivals. So recently we have come with a Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav, which is a born day of Lord Krishna. And everybody in every kind of and every place of a country has been celebrated in a very huge way. Be it South India, North India, East India, Central India, any region. And then post that we have a Ganesh Chaturthi, a birthday of Lord Ganesha, where we used to celebrate by giving him a tribute and giving a Ganesh Visarjan, if you have heard about this word, where we put the Ganesh into a water and ask him for the blessing to the whole world and making the things happen into that way. So these are the two big festivals which recently has been into, and every family member is being celebrating that around.
Okay.
And now, obviously, looking forward for the big festival, Diwali, a very big festival in India.
Everyone knows about Diwali. Everyone knows about Diwali, and we will definitely be looking forward to that. Okay, so very keen to hear about your personal journey and how you actually brought that out into your professional business aspects as well. So briefly, can you just tell us about you and that journey of yours? Where did it all begin?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking me this, Paul. I'm very much curious to tell you about this because I think it has been very interesting till now where I have been into my life. So, right from the beginning of my life, I am being a very spiritually inclined person, a mythologically inclined person who understand and wanted to be with the mythologies which has been into grouse root of every Indians. So, I have born brought up into that culture, and post that I have did my graduation and post graduation from here, Rajasthan only, and did my chartered accountancy course in my local place, from the local place only. In this complete journey of mine, the spirituality plays a very important and vital role in understanding the life as a very big game. Not only the professional things, not only the social things, but a complete gambit where the spirituality, socialism, your culture, your values, your profession, and everything plays its own role. And over the period of my this journey till now, so I've been 32, until the age of this 32, I've experienced the different flavors of a life in a very smooth and transitional way. So, being spiritual, being social, being a finance background person, talking typically from the Rajasthan Baniya family, understanding the chartered accountancy business. So, these all become my gambit where I'm playing and doing the things into my life. And obviously, all the steps, be it spirituality, be it my socialism, everything plays a very vital role till now for my growth and being into this place. And I use my every kind of a tick and tactic into my profession as well, for the consulting of my client as well. Because I think that spirituality cannot be separated from any person, from any business. It should be an integral part so that a proper valued system can come out from the society.
Yeah. So you mentioned some great things about that intersection between the spirituality aspect and then your professional aspect, and how you bring all of that in front of your client, or how you actually operate. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing currently for your clients. What's your area of specialism?
Right. Very nice to talk about that as well. So what happened, Paul? So right from the beginning of my career, I have been into a big corporates, working with a big corporates like Hindustan Zinc, EY, and all of these people. And parallelly, I'm taking up a corporate having a big structure and an MSME of my client who is having a shop into nearby places and we're having a very less turnover, very less profitability. I'm dealing both the clients at a simultaneously. There are certain assignments I'm looking for the Hindustan Zinc, there are certain assignment I'm doing and helping for the local people for filing of their returns or any such kind of a thing. And I feel that there's a huge gap between these two things. The gap is not only about the economics or the numbers, but the gap is about the mentality, thinking that how they can grow up. And after a particular time, after the particular segregation, they don't know how to grow more than that. So if I talk about the numbers, say if any client is having say 1,000 crores of turnover, but now he don't know how to reach to the 5,000. Now he don't know how to reach to a 10,000, and his growth has been stagnant here, and he's not able to think of more. And that mitigation between the corporates and an MSME, a small medium enterprises, requires a very important and vital role. So I started my career as a chartered accountant and did my taxation and auditing, compliances, and other things working. Parallelly, I have started 5 years back my specialized domain for the consulting, where I'm helping the business owner in understanding and determining that what is their business vision. Because I feel into my career that taxation is something which government has asked them to do, so that's why they are asking me to help them. But what is my value addition into their business? So I want to be a very good value provider to their business. So I have decided that I'll started a parallel consulting along with my taxation division. So my taxation division goes on the side and my consulting division goes on the side. So consulting right from the creating that a business plan, team structuring, how the team needs to be planned, what should be the reporting and giving a format to them, and seeing that there should be a proper alignment between the owner's vision and the team, and then looking forward at how to create a board, how to resolve these kind of a problems, how to integrate a system into it. Because the biggest gap comes in is after a particular time, an entrepreneur has to shift themselves to become a businessman or a better entrepreneur by inputting or getting a better way of systems in place, which is very important and very vital. And at this stage where we are into, we call it a Lala company, a mid-sized company like a Lala company who don't have that vision. So I work with the Lala and make them understand that how generationally they can become a big conglomerate, how the step should start from, what should be the stretching steps to. And gradually, by consulting all of these areas, I come to know that succession is something, retirement is something which is a very important place our owner must do. Because in a business, the biggest thing which comes is that we can transfer the business from a generation to another generation, and which plays a very important role for the growth of the company. So I have been consulting on the succession part from since very long.
So we'll come to the succession part of it, but my takeaways from how you were describing it is, yes, of course, there is a black and white element that needs to be undertaken, which is the tax and the financial aspects. But what you have actually identified is some of these small, medium enterprises, they just do not know how to grow past the numbers and the financial aspects. And this is where you bring in a little bit more of a holistic, and I'm using holistic as a more broader term here. It's not just about the numbers you were describing. It was about, well, understanding their vision and understanding their mission and how they're structured from a team perspective and how they can actually take the company forward depending on their size and their goals and so forth, which they were not thinking about previously because they were just basically thinking about, well, I need to do my accounting, I need to get my profits, I need to just get through this year, while you're coming in and looking a little bit more broadly and looking at more of the other broader aspects, using this as a subset as well. So one question, you mentioned about dealing with corporates and which you've got the greatest of experiences in that particular region. Can you tell me maybe 2 or 3 challenges that you're facing with some of these small, medium enterprises when you actually bring in this type of a concept to them? You know, every country, every region, every culture, you know, every business have got their own ways of operating. In your view, tell us maybe 1 to 2 or 3 challenges that you are facing.
Very, very nicely put it forward, Steve. And so I'll answer it by saying that, for example, if I'll talk about that, I want that there should be system-oriented things into the place. But what happens when the system comes in, there's a transparency automatically comes into the system. Because now everybody knows and having access of everything. And the people who are, I'll call a small business owner, don't know how to grow, having a biggest challenge to create a transparency, because since long generationally, they have keeping the things hidden from the complete employees and the next generation forward, that how they are doing, keeping there as a trade secret. But now nothing is a trade secret. It is more important that how important or what kind of value addition you are providing into the other's business, that they have to understand. So the biggest challenge which I feel is that anytime when I started creating or developing a system around it, they've started feeling shy and they don't want to be an open person, just because they don't want to get the thing transparent between the teams, because they think if they'll get transparented, they can take an advantage of it. They'll misuse it. They'll out their formula or something. But now nothing is like a formula. It is all about that what kind of a value addition you can provide to a system, how better you are with your services, how better you are in handling of your customer. If you have these kind of a quality, then rest of the thing doesn't matter. Rest of the thing will automatically come and set up in place. So that is one challenge which I always feel whenever I talk about the system integration into any organization. So another kind of a challenge comes in where I feel in the family business, where one owner, after that, a son comes into a picture. After that, another son comes into a picture. So there is the grandson, I'll say. The grandson is now not interested in doing this business because he wants his control, but the grandfather don't want to lose out the control. So I'll explain you by a very beautiful example. Have you ever experienced that a small child, a newly born child, 6 months, 3 months, till 1 year, has hold your hand and fingers? By his hand, he hold your fingers. And once he hold, even if you push harder your finger, you're not able to release it. We feel like that the boy or girl is connected with us. The child is feeling love with us. And we are also feeling very graceful. That's really nice. But the true reality is the kid know how to hold, but the kid don't know how to lose out, which is a very important art. So same with the grandfather. The grandfather know how to get a better control into a business, but he don't know how to lose out. It's the biggest challenge. And he always blames that my grandson don't want. I reverse the scenario and say that see it holistically. It is not like that grandson don't want. He wants an opportunity. He wants to do the same thing in a different way. He don't want to have the books of account by writing, by making into a paper, by making into a normal diaries. He want an optimization over there. He wants a transparency into it. He want to have a more better leader into a system. A top hierarchy he wanted to build up. And if you are restricting him, it is not the right way to take it up forward. So making the grandfather understand that it is not only the problem of a child that he don't want to pick it up. The problem is that we don't know how to lose it. So I always use this example in front of my clients and explaining them that it is important to understand the art of holding, but it is parallelly important to understand the art of losing. And one point of time one has to do that. So these are few things which I always feel which is very common with any kind of a scenario or any part of the world.
Yeah, amazing. And those are very good challenges. And, and with a very strong culture of small, medium enterprises where they really want to hold and not be transparent, or they don't want to let go and bring in new leaders in, that becomes even more challenging. But the key thing that I'm also hearing here is your clients trust you, and there's a trust relationship here, so which means they listen to you.
Right. I think it is very important. Then only you are able to provide good value addition into that kind of a system.
Yes. So, you touched on business succession and the planning of it, and you've authored a book around it. This is a good segue to talk about it. So tell us a little bit more about the book, and what does it contain, and how would me as a business benefit from it?
Very nice. Thank you for asking this question, Steve. So I'll start by again having Indian mythology. In Indian mythology, we talk about Vishnu Bhagwan. Vishnu ji is one of the form of Lord Krishna. Vishnu Bhagwan is having two type of vehicles that he used. One is Sarp. Sarp means a snake. He always have sleep. He always used to sleep on a snake. That is one of a vehicle through which he used to transfer from one place to another. The another one is Garuda. Garuda is basically a eagle who on which Vishnu Bhagwan used to travel and roam around and see that what the things are going. If he has to go from one place to another, then there's a two way to go. One by Sarp and second is by Garuda. So these are the two angles in which has been talked very nicely in Indian mythology. We call it Garud view and Sarp view. Garud view is basically a view of a bird eye view, that he looks from the upside and see that a completely holistic thing, whatever going on around. And Sarp view is something when he talk and see a very reptile view. He's not able to have that vision. He's not able to see that far, but he just travel around it. Wherever he's able to see, just he moves around it. So I think as a business owner, they have both kind of angles. One, they are having a Sarp view where they are just moving around whatever coming up to them. Day-to-day fighting challenges, doing the things, firefighting, having a complete regular growth into a company. These are, I say, the Sarp view, which will automatically go year by year and you'll progress around it. But parallelly, I feel the business owner must have the Garud view also, a bird eye view where he can see that what is the holistic picture, who's going to take up the things next, how I can succeed the things next, who will be my next successor, how my team can grow up along with me. These kind of a question, if somebody raise out, I'll say he must have a Garuda view. So probable of the small medium enterprises, even a corporates, are having a very small view, which I'll say Sarp view. My biggest thing which I wanted to do around this is I want to talk to the maximum people and make them aware about this Sarp view and Garuda view, that they must see the things very holistically and see whatever going on near around the things, and they must plan their things. So there how the succession automatically comes into a picture, where I have started talking about it. So what is succession? Then points comes in. So succession is nothing but transferring and transition of your business from one generation to another. If there is any competent person within your family, then I'll call it a family business succession planning. If there is no competent person, or there is no person or wanted to join your business, then in that case you sell it to outside person. Then it is known as business succession planning. If it is goes within the family, then it is a business succession planning. If it goes outside the family, then it goes a family business succession planning. So it is important to understand that at what time we must plan it, what time we'll have a Garud view in our life. Because all the time having a SERP view until the age of 70, I'm sitting onto my chair and doing daily firefighting is not the right way to deal with the life. Life is a very holistic way, and we have to teach and understand a life in a very holistic way. So there, how I understood and make this thing with coming up with this thing that I must write about the succession planning, and COVID being a very right time for me. I've taken out time from my day to day and remove my SERP view and taken my own Garud view and then started writing that what I want, how it has been followed all over the world, how it has been followed, how it has been appreciated, what is the scenario in India and all of the countries near around. And there, how I started writing of it, and slowly and gradually, it has taken a good shape of a book where I have not talked in a very technical way. I kept a very layman language where we can understand by way of examples, by way of stories, by understanding the step-by-step approach of dealing with it. And there how I come out with the drafting this book. And Texman has been a very good publisher, nationwide publisher in India, who has published my book and getting a good response from the people who were reading it, that they are getting a Garud view from my book, which is my foremost important.
So I did read some excerpts of it, and I have actually made arrangements to get a book. So I'll definitely take a look at it. I'm a big proponent of succession planning as well, because it happens, or it needs to happen, not only at corporate level, but also especially with small, medium enterprises. And you mentioned about family offices, where there's a lack of understanding on the concept of succession planning. And nowadays, the world is actually changing so rapidly and evolving from a change perspective, which means you do need to bring in the right sorts of leaders as well. Even if that person is a named person within the organization or within the family, but ultimately the end goal, as you were describing, is adding value and bringing that transparency and increasing profitability, social responsibility, and so forth. If you don't have the next generation of leaders, then that becomes a bit of a challenge. So wonderful on the book here. You mentioned, Ravi, about a number of great outcomes that you have achieved. Is there any small or brief story that you want to share that comes to your mind, even as your time as a corporate leader, or even as an entrepreneur, where you've achieved a high positive outcome with your client or with internally?
Yeah. So I'll explain you my own scenario. So why this topic has been again a very important part in my life. In 2016, I lost my father, and that was into an accident, and that was certain for me. It was like that last evening I dropped her to a station, and he is traveling from one state to another state for some of his outings with my mother and few of his friends. And suddenly in the morning at the 9:30 a.m., I dropped him at the evening, late evening, 11:30 or so. And in the early morning at the 9:30, I suddenly received the call that my father is no more. And my mother was completely shivering at that time, and yes, she has seen that complete scenario, and it becomes a very trauma case for my family. And when I come to know about this, then right from that day to complete 2 years span of time, I have spent it with my family just to understand that what is the emotional harming that we get, how can I balance my family emotionally, and what can be the financial aspects of it parallelly, and how can I match it up and bring up my family to the another level. I being an elder son, and you can say my younger sister and brother, they all are a bit small in understanding that whatever happening. So I take the responsibility on myself, and seeing that I have to take care of my mother, I have to see that how can I bring the family into a better way, so that even the harmony should not go off, and the finances and other parts should also be taken care in the well mannered way. And being I have myself gone through this challenge completely to 2 years. Why I'm mentioning 2 years? Because right from that day to the marriage of my brother, because he's younger to me, it's take a huge day and out challenge to me. That sometimes financial challenges, I don't know where the estates that my father has bought off. If the estates were there, they're not having a clear title. The will was not there, and the nominees' places were very differently placed off. We don't know the number of the bank accounts. We don't know the demat account and the share position. There's a huge mass going on every around it. Sorry. So since then, I'm seeing that it's a big challenge. If even as a financial literate person, as a chartered accountant, if I'm facing these kind of a challenge, obviously the other people around it also feel the same kind of a challenge. So coming out with that scenario and taking out my family completely out of it. Now my brother is in a good place. My sister got married. My brother got married. We bought a new house. Everybody lives in the same place. So in India, there's a joint family concept regularly works out. So we still live in a joint family. Everybody is having a good harmony. So I think that 2 years make me really understand the importance and depthness of social life, family, parallelly going a professional life, and all the things need to be around will be connected by my spirituality, which always keep me balanced. So I always insist every entrepreneur to have a flavor of a spirituality in their life. Whatever things will go, whatever challenges will come, definitely they'll come. We cannot stop the challenges, but we must know how to deal with it in a better way, which spirituality always helps into, which comes into a picture and helps me to understand it. So this becomes another reason, Paul, for making me to write about this book, making my experience to write about this book. Whatever the flaws I have seen, that these are the flaws I have given the people a clear understanding of it, that how they can properly deal with. At that time, I was not clear that I must refer some book and understand that what should be the things. Because what happens that if you have a challenge in the growth of your business, you have certain books to refer. You have a challenge that you want to have a financial freedom. There's a lot of books that you can refer. If you have a challenge that how to bring and brought up your child, parenting, there's a lot of books coming up. But on the succession, there's no one book where I can refer and understand that how my family will deal with it, how the thing should go on, is the right way I'm doing. It is just a hit and trial that I'm doing around it. And I've searched for the book, there's nothing has been around it. So that all scenario has come and popped up into the COVID time when we all are sitting at a home. We are seeing the things very badly around us. So I felt like to write whatever I have learned out of it. Might I'll be not available post COVID. So at least let me write and let the people understand that how they can deal with it. So that is something a very big challenge, or there's something that I'll say a contribution to me for the society which I wanted to do. And I really feel great about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story, Ravi. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about you, just outside of your professional day-to-day. Tell us a little bit more about what sparks you, what interests do you have?
Yeah, so great to talk on that also. So I'm a kind of a person who want to communicate with the people, who wanted to talk with the people and see that how the things can be understood in a better way. So I feel that over the period of my lifespan, I have understood that how my psychology works, how my professional life works, how the spirituality and mythology working around me, how they're helping me around it. Because there are many things which we do religiously day-to-day basis into in India. For example, going to a temple and doing a aarti on daily basis. So what's the motto of it? I started finding these kind of a question and answer of these kind of things, which creates a very good part into me that I understand the things in a bigger perspective, in a holistic perspective, and along with the underlining fact that what is the reason that I'm doing it. Because doing it mechanically doesn't give me anything that I come to know. And then I mixed up the things and created a holistic way of my doing my own way. So my day begins at morning 5 a.m. I started doing walking, do my journaling, spend some time of my day's plan, then start my day with my kids, and having a complete day with the client, family, assignments, and different kind of things and different kind of challenges. Traveling to a different cities for the helping to help more and more clients and talk on this topic and doing these things. And at the evening, again, having a good dinner with a tea with a family, so that I can be a good family person as well, having a better bonding. So dinner is a common time for all of us where we talk about everything of our everyday life, in and out, whatever going on. And that is how the holistic way of dealing a life comes into my life. And at the age of this, I know that very people nearby me talks to me that at the age of 32, I'm having a great experiences. So I must say that that is how the life comes to me, and I've accepted everything very, very holistically, that they want something better come out of me, and every day I just fought against it, and I feel that now it's a time where I can see the things in a better way. So one more point I wanted to add here is, I'm a kind of a person who understands the problem logically. Say, for example, if my client is not following the X process, it is not the client's fault that he's not able to follow the X process. There might be a problem in drafting of that process by me. So I'm that kind of a person who introspects and understands the things and wanted to understand the things in a very holistic way. So that is something about me.
Amazing. Ravi, thank you very much for sharing that. Ravi, we're coming to a close very shortly. Is there any closing messages or a challenge to other leaders, whether they're small, medium enterprises or corporates, that you want to share with? Tell us a little bit more about it.
So I think already, Paul, I've explained you that my synergy and my psychology working on this part where I'll talk about the Garuda view and Sarpa view. So I want that there should be a time where we spend, our leader should spend in introspection, in seeing that whether he is heading with the right kind of a plan or not. Doing a daily working doesn't mean that you're a good leader, but do it sharply in such a way that you are heading to a particular direction is a very important part. And I feel as a business person that we as a business owners, entrepreneurs, corporates, plays a very vital role in complete society. We provide so much employment. We provide the complete rotation of an economy. We are so much contributor into these segments, be it a small, even a very small entrepreneurs till the corporate. Everybody is contributing in that way. So I'll give you a very nice data, Paul, that in India, the complete GDP, more than 50% of the contribution to a GDP comes from small, medium enterprises. Even a small, medium enterprise is contributing more than 50% of a GDP of a nation, which is one of the largest nations of the world. That means that it's a very important role that you are playing into a complete ecosystem. Don't feel that you are earning for your own self or you're only a leader, but you are running along with you. There are certain family who are running back to you. There are certain employment that you are generating. There are certain people who have been associated with you for long, and your every activity is helping them to take out their bread and butter out of it. So we are an important provider, an important solution provider. So I request every leader, entrepreneur to give time to their own self by proper introspection and having a Garuda view in their life, through which they can definitely able to succeed towards the success. So I always use this quote that succession come out of success. So once you feel that you are successful, now it's a time to plan for your succession. So these are the things by which I would like to say that everybody should understand, and the importance of introspection and having a Garuda.
Words of wisdom from Ravi. Thank you very much for being with us today and for sharing your journey and that challenge to all the leaders. Thank you very much, Ravi.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's really grateful for me to be the part of this success talk with Steve Pauls. And I'm really grateful to you, and from the depth of my heart, that to all the audience who's listening me out, to all the people who are listening me out, who heard me on this topic. And thanks to you for taking out of a time and taking me on the show and allow me to talk about this topic to the people who have been a part into your ecosystem. Thank you so much, Paul, for being a wonderful person in your life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Okay, folks, thank you very much for listening in, and stay tuned for our next episode with another great leader who will share behind the scenes knowledge of what a venture capital firm does and their decision-making process on firms they acquire or build up. So stay tuned for more of that, and stay on for a bonus offer for you that you can't miss, the links of which will be also in the description of this video. Hey, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're now seeing this part of the video also because you consume some of my content, insights, and teachings. Maybe you've been to my LinkedIn page or website or seen other social media ads or listened to my podcast. I'm Stephen Paul, a business and transformational executive coach, strategic advisor, leader, and board member. I've been in diverse roles, corporate executive, entrepreneur, and worked with businesses and firms of all sizes, built and launched businesses, created high-impact boards, and so forth in 4 continents. I get it. I've been there, done that, but what is different is I bring a unique perspective and a playbook. I've helped 100+ business leaders just like you to scale and align their leadership top teams, the board, and overall business for growth. Leaders like Ivana from medium-sized company in the EU who grew 150% and expanded globally in under 5 months. After she started to work with me over facilitated sessions in an initial 3 days, I helped fine-tune their strategy and align their leadership team and board to be a cohesive driving force to achieve their dreams and outcomes. I want to teach you the same thing and more on how to scale and align your leadership team and board so you can increase your business growth and value. Get clarity on what is the next right strategy for you. There are multiple ways we can work with you. Number 1, click the link for a free, non-obligatory 60-minute initial strategic session. Let's get a feel for your dreams, your vision, your challenges, and let me convert that into a route map for you where we can co-develop and co-pilot. Number 2, enroll in an innovative and intuitive digital online course that I have created to help you transform. It's called Unshakable Resilience. It is the ultimate program for individuals and business leaders like you who want to be equipped at a personal and professional level to respond to any form of challenges or in crisis situations and take on opportunities with grit, resilience, and build a mindset of success. In essence, you want to be unshakable, thrive in crisis, take on opportunities in the face of adversity, and build a success mindset. So, click the link below to learn more on how I can personally help you individually and your firm to scale and align your leadership team and business and pivot in a transformational way. And for you to experience this, whatever the challenge you're facing, get in touch with me. Let's discuss, and I will share my insight rapidly to enable your transformation. Click the links below.